Hi y'all, this is so blessed. Welcome to the blessed place. How y'all doing? I just wanted to share something with you all. I was getting dressed for the day so me and my daughter Derica could go out, and I was just out of the shower, lotioning up my legs, putting on my smell good stuff, minding my own business, and bam, a flashback. A flashback of something horrible back in back long time ago in my earlier life. And no, I'm not going to share with you all because some stuff just is not expedient for everybody to know. But I had a flashback, y'all, and it wasn't a good one. And when I had this flashback, I I said, Lord, why do I have this flashback? I mean, here I am, a grown woman. This is stuff that happened years and years ago. Here it is. I've gone through life. I've gone through um, 13 years of celibacy, almost 7 years of marriage, 44 years old, only what, 12 days or however many days from being 45. And yet here I am still having a flashback from things that happened back in the day, either things that happened to me or things that I have done. And I'm like, Lord, can't you just please? I know I've been forgiven. I know that you love me. Why? I know that I have forgiven. Those things that were done to me. Why am I still having flashbacks? And God still small, loving voice said, my grace is sufficient. Now, some of you know what that means, and some of you might not be familiar with what that means. But it's a passage in the Bible, and oh Lord, I can't remember where. I think it's 2 Corinthians. But yeah, maybe I'll add that to the bottom. But it says that it's a story where in the Bible, Paul was praying to God. He prayed to God 3 times that God would remove something from him, this thorn that was in his flesh. Now, the theologians, they talk about and they surmise what this thorn was. And I don't know if there's one conclusive evidence of what this thorn was. A lot of people say it was something, it was an ailment. Some people say it was a spiritual or emotional thing. I say, excuse me, you know how we've done things in our past, hence my flashback, that you just can't get over it. And Paul, who was now a Christian, had once been against Christians and had killed Christians. And who knows, he might have killed women, he might have killed children, and perhaps he's having flashbacks of those egregious acts that he had committed against Christians. I don't know, it could have been an emotional flashback. So we don't know what the deal was with Paul, but whatever his deal was, again, that was his. That's probably why God didn't. Why they didn't even put that in the Bible exactly what it was, and let people try to figure it out, because some things are just your issues, and some memories and flashbacks are just yours, and it's not for everybody to know. But so we don't know what that deal was, but God answered Paul and said, my grace is sufficient. Meaning that you can lean and depend and trust in me to get you through regardless of the flashbacks. That you can use those things that happened to you in the past and use those things as a testimony to help others. You can use those things to fuel the passion of your purpose. Your purpose, maybe you were on drugs at one time, and maybe your purpose now is to help others rehab. Maybe you were very promiscuous, as I was, and maybe now your purpose is to use those things in the past. Use your promiscuity. I can never say that word. Use your promiscuity to fuel the passion for your purpose. Hey. Try saying that 3-4 times. But yeah, maybe that's what I'm supposed to do, is to be able to encourage other young women not to go through what I went through, or if you did go through what I went through, that God's grace is sufficient and that you can be changed and you don't have to be stereotyped by that. You don't have to be defined by those things that happened in your past. Even my husband has a powerful testimony and he does not mind sharing it. He uses wisdom as to when, who to share it with, how to share it, what to tell, what not to tell. He often say in the pulpit that he shares his testimony and things that he's done, but he said, I can't tell y'all everything. I can't tell y'all about all the skeletons in my closet. Y'all might not call me pastor no more. He said, but don't look at me like I'm crazy, because I know y'all got some skeletons. It's just that I don't mind sharing mine. I just love my pastor, my husband, my friend, my lover. He's so real. But yes, he has a powerful testimony, and he could go through life saying, why did I do that? Was this done to me? But no, he uses that powerful testimony to draw other young people, especially draw young men who would never listen to, the bishop in the white collar and the suit and the clean cut, and no, but they listen to my husband, because my husband can tell them, man, I did time in the feds. Yes, he did. I got a bad boy. I ain't bragging on him. I'm just bragging on what God has done and what God has brought him from. But yeah, he uses his powerful testimony, and I never talk about his testimony on here, not because I'm ashamed. I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Christ. No, I'm not ashamed. But it is his story and it is his testimony. And it's for him to share, and it's not for me to get on here and share. But I'm not ashamed of it at all, because he is using his testimony to fuel the passion of his purpose, which is to draw dying men and to go into the hedges and highways and to compel dying people to come to Christ. And that's why I just wanted to share this with you all, to tell you to use your flashbacks, those things that you have done that you wish you had not done, but you can't go back and change the past. And even worse, those egregious acts that were done on you: molestation, rape, neglect, backstabbing, cheated upon, just all kinds of egregious things that were done to you, that you keep having these flashbacks and you have a hard time getting over, and it's been 10 and 20 and 30 and 40 years, and you say, why am I still having these flashbacks? Lord, why can't you just take these memories from me? But you can be healed, you can be forgiven, you can be made whole, but yet the flashbacks still come. Why? Number one, we're human, and it's not like a computer where you can just erase the hard drive. We're human. You may never forget. Those flashbacks may always come up. You may be in your rocking chair with your teeth sitting next to you in the jar and have a flashback. But I just encourage you that God's grace is sufficient. Use that testimony to draw other people, to help people with their pain. People are dealing with so much. Let them know that they are not alone. Let them know that, you know what, I used to be on drugs, but let me tell you what my God can do. I used to be promiscuous. Let me tell you what my God can do, where you can go 13 years celibate only by the grace of God. Believe me. I used to do this. I used to have a temper. I used to fly off the handle like that. But let me tell you about what God did for me. Use those flashbacks. Don't despise them. Don't let them depress you. Use them to fuel passion in you, to find your purpose in helping others, in loving others, in empathizing with others, sympathizing with others, loving on others, encouraging others. I just had to share that with you all, because like I said, I'm sitting here minding my own business and had a flashback, and I said, Lord, why won't this stuff leave me? And God just said, my grace is sufficient. Encourage somebody with that flashback. So I'm hoping that that's what I did. And before I turn off this camera, let me just, if there's any young person, your teens, your late teens, your early 20s, let me just implore you that what you do now is going to affect your future. It's going to affect what kind of jobs you can get. It's going to affect the flashbacks that you have later on. It's going to affect your emotional well-being. So just be mindful. We all make mistakes. Nobody's infallible. Young people have to go through their mistakes. Sometimes we that have gone through these things want to protect you, but we have to, you're going to make your mistakes too, and that's understandable. But you don't have to make all the same mistakes that we've made and all the same mistakes that we are trying to now steer you away from. When you take that puff of that marijuana, it's going to lead to more, and it's going to affect your future. Some jobs say, have you had any marijuana or drugs in the last 5 or 10 years? When you commit an act and go to prison, yeah, my husband, he has to deal with certain things because of his background. But you know what? God's grace is sufficient. So just be mindful, young people. Yeah, I know you're going to do things. You're going to fall. You're going to get back up. You're going to, not just do everything line upon line, precept upon precept, but just know that those flashbacks are coming. But when they do, God's grace is sufficient. I love y'all. Let me get up out of here. Y'all be blessed.